It's so great to see your space where the magic happens, the creative magic.
Yeah.
Goodness, you're talented.
Hi, thank you. I feel really lucky to do something that I genuinely love.
I do too. And highlighting people like you is one of the joys of my life. Honestly, this is such a beautiful, beautiful space. This room, 7 rooms you did?
Yes.
All different, but with their subtle influence underneath. I mean, it's so them, but it's so, wow, I did not expect this from the outside when I walked into the historic building. And I was like, this is boutique in. This is so snazzy.
That's the nicest compliment that you can give me. We spent a lot of time trying to get to know our clients, get to know the area, especially when it comes to hotels, so that we can really infuse a sense of place. We want the guests to feel like their room experience is part of their travel experience rather than just being a bed in a room. So trying to bring in Concord, trying to bring in Tony and Mark and the things that they love about Concord was really important to us when we started the design process.
And the history. And I love the silhouettes done in the teal.
That's one of my favorite.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And the sculptural book art that you got on Etsy, she was saying. And how nice of you to be promoting and helping the singular artists that are around.
Well, it's really a win-win because we want there to be unique elements throughout the inn so that guests are inspired too. I mean, I get emails almost every day from guests saying, we stayed at this property and we love this, can you tell us where to find it? So it's so much more exciting for us than to source something that, somebody can identify where it's from. And it's
There's
nice.
1,000 billion of those,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And it feels good that the artists are really excited to be part of the projects and the owners are excited to have something that's unique. And it's a nice way to kind of reference the inspiration and the concept without having it be like overly themed.
Yeah, it's kind of like an outfit too. But the outfits that I get the most compliments on are not the outfits that look exactly like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And look at you. I mean, you've got these fabulous boots and the leather pants.
Love these boots.
And the jewel colors. So there's a little bit of you in this too. I mean, is this a typical type of a design or do you just really go based on the client?
I really go based on the client. I think at the root of it, we have a style. I like to describe it as fresh, sophisticated, kind of a soft modern sensibility.
Okay, you nailed that. You nailed that.
Thank you. But that being said, we really like every project to be unique to the client. So we spend a lot of time at the beginning of the project getting to know the client, getting to know their lifestyle, their style preferences, so that we can really create a space that feels unique to them.
Now they're fun. They're fun.
They are.
Every 10 years they say they have an adventure. So we're on year 3. So in 7 years, get ready for another big project. Else. I think it might be in Spain. I'm not sure.
You don't have to twist my arm.
Me neither. I think we'll do a show there.
Perfect.
They say we need a exactly. But they're so fun. They're so interesting. They're so energetic, and to take on the whole, B&B/inn.
Yes,
is
quite adventurous.
Yeah, with no background in it, but they're doing really well.
Yeah,
they're fun. And busy.
But they're so welcoming, and you can tell they really love it and they're passionate about it.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of inspiration, did you always know you wanted to be an interior designer?
I always knew I wanted to do something creative. Both my parents were entrepreneurs. My mom was a photographer. I loved the arts from an early age, but I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to take it. I wanted to go to art school. My parents wanted me to get kind of general liberal arts education, which is what I did. And then I went into advertising after college on the creative side, project management. And it was actually on a trip to Bali in Thailand where I was just mesmerized by the color and the pattern. And my mom said, you should really think about this as a career. And it had always been a passion, but I never thought about it as an actual career. So I came back and I did a continuing ed class and loved it and ended up going back to school, working for 2 different design firms. And then in 2006, I founded Reider Interiors.
And so was there anything really super tough about this project that you thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that?
So historic homes always worry me a little bit just because they tend to have very loyal guests that come back year after year. And so you want to make sure, you're keeping with the tradition of the home while still appealing to the modern day traveler. And so it's kind of a fine line between how much you modernize something, how much you change, so that you're still capturing, the previous guests, but you're still bringing in a new crowd and really appealing to the modern day traveler.
Yeah, so an influx.
So I always worry about like initial reaction and.
Well, you have historic pieces and antique pieces in here mixed in, kind of infused in there. So it's kind of grounded in that, but then you have these beautiful surprises. I mean, this bed it looks like an antique bed.
It
but
is.
It's painted in a sort of mustardy yellow lacquer.
And you're exactly right. That was our intention. So what we did is we took a lot of the original four-poster beds to be in, but we wanted to figure out a way to kind of reinvent them. So we lacquered them in these fun colors, which kind of breathes new life into the pieces while still honoring their tradition.
No, I love that. I love that. And the chef is like that too. Family, tradition, community. And there seems to be a lot of parallels kind of going around that. Yes, it's really...
Well, it's important. It's history and it's support, and I think that when you have a good story, that makes such a difference.
I believe that. I'm all about that. and then a lot of shiny surfaces. You have a lot of reflective surfaces.
Yes.
Which again, I think is a theme with this episode in terms of Walden Pond and the reflection, going up to Sleepy Hollow and the reflection of the Reider's past, and there's a lot of that going on too.
I like that. I wasn't going for that, but I'm gonna steal that next time. For me, it's about layering. I think that layers and mixtures of textures give a lot of depth to space.
Crazy great. Yeah, your textures are.
Yeah, I'm big into texture, but it gives depth to space, and so that was one thing that we were trying to do here, to sort of freshen up the spaces, so that you have some of these like older writing desks, which are great, but then they're paired with like an antique mirror, and the juxtaposition of those two different textures together is just really interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of how you can take one thing, like an old writing desk, and then you put it next to a bed that's painted in a beautiful yellow, and now it becomes a whole new thing. A whole new thing. One thing and another thing. It's like people when they get together, right? Friends or partners, you become like you're still separate, but you're together. You're different. Okay, so how about a favorite room? Do you have a favorite? Can you name all the different rooms?
I can't. No. I might have been able to 2 years ago when we finished the project.
So Emerson, Thoreau, I think I have those. But do you have a favorite one?
This is actually one of my favorite rooms, which is surprising because it's one of the smaller spaces, but it just feels so warm and cozy. I love the yellow. It's just like this unexpected surprise when you open up the door. I also like the room that you stayed in with the trees, Thoreau.
I didn't stay in the king bed with the very big. That's a beautiful.
Yes, that's one of my favorite rooms.
Contemplative, quiet, but also has a lot of rich texture. That looks like clouds, but they're trees, and the way you infuse the nature inside.
I love that wallpaper. That was my starting point for that space.
And can you tell us some of the places it's mostly just designer only access into some of the things that you use?
Most of the things we use are just because I want our clients to feel like they have things that are really unique, that they can't point to a catalog and say, I know where that's from and I know where that's from. And I like working with kind of craftsmen and makers to have these,
like the chandelier and those tables in the dining space.
I know, those are beautiful.
Wow. And at first I didn't even notice the pedestal on the bottom. Fabulous.
Have you heard of Dunes and Duchess?
I have today. I have today.
They made a chandelier above the table too.
Yes, I did. And all the turns. And I just thought, the woodworking skill that went into those. So they said that you've been working with them for a long time, and then this is like
we have a great partnership. We created a sconce together that's named after me. It's the Rachel sconce.
Oh, really?
So it's been a really nice.
Will you send me a photo of that?
Sure.
We'll put it on the show. Rachel sconce. Oh, I want something named after me now. That's so fun.
We'll name a room after me next. For the hotel in Spain.
There you go. We don't want to know what that room looks like. It sounds like we're going to Spain.
Hey, you don't want to twist my arm.
Me neither. Well, so super nice to meet you. So nice to have visited your place of work in the bustling city, but then to know that you come to Concord and you're all over. How far are you? Like, do you go to
We'll go anywhere. A lot of our work is focused in New England, but we've been down to Savannah. We've done a project in Montana, so I'm happy to travel.
Yeah,
I love to travel, and for me, that's the greatest source of inspiration.
And mostly residential?
No, we're split 50-50 between residential and boutique hotels. I find it's a really nice crossover.
Yeah. Well, this is the best of both.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, well, I think we'll go down can't see the rest of the party. I know
Looking
I'm
forward to
sure I can
dinner.
smell the food from here. I know it's almost
Yes, it
time.
smells delicious.
Well, thank you so much. So again,
Thank
nice to spend time with you
you.
in your favorite room.
Thank you.